What if the command you give yourself, stop thinking, is the very thing that keeps you trapped? What if the battle to silence your mind is the source of all the noise? You've been told to fight it, but the struggle has only left you exhausted, lost in a storm of your own making. There is another way. Not a battle, but a gentle release. A path to the quiet you seek, not by fighting the river of thought, but by learning to simply sit on its bank and watch it flow by. Tonight, we will not fight. We will let go. And in that surrender, we will find the peace that has been waiting for you all along. Welcome to the sanctuary. Find a place where you can be still, where you can rest undisturbed. Let your body settle. Feel the weight of it here in this moment. There is nothing else for you to do, and nowhere else for you to be. The mind in its natural state is like a sky, vast, open, and clear. But for so many of us, the sky is filled with clouds. The clouds of thought, worries about tomorrow, regrets about yesterday, an endless loop of analysis, a constant internal chatter. We call this overthinking. It feels like a prison built without walls from which there is no escape. You might feel a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach. This is the body responding to the mind's turmoil. The first teaching from the ancient masters of Zen is one of profound simplicity. Do not fight the clouds. To fight them is to give them substance, to give them power. Instead, we will learn to simply notice them. Let us begin with the anchor that is always with you, your breath. Bring your awareness gently to the air entering your nostrils. Feel its coolness. Follow it as it fills your lungs. Notice the brief, quiet pause at the peak of your inhalation. And then, exhale. Release the air slowly, feeling it warm as it leaves your body. Do not force it. Do not control it. Your body knows how to breathe. Your only task is to watch. In and out. Each time a thought arises, and it will, acknowledge it without judgment. See it. A thought about work, a memory, a worry. And then, gently, guide your attention back to the breath. The breath is your anchor in the present moment. The storm of thought may rage, but the anchor holds you steady. This simple act is the foundation of mindfulness meditation. It is the beginning of reclaiming your inner peace. We are not trying to stop overthinking by force. We are simply giving the mind something else to do, a calmer place to rest. Let me share with you a story. In ancient China, a man was rowing his boat upstream on a misty morning. He was in a hurry and grew frustrated as he struggled against the current. Through the thick fog, he suddenly saw another boat moving directly towards him. He yelled, "Hey, turn aside. You are going to hit me." But the boat continued on its course, unwavering. The man grew furious. He screamed curses, threatening the other rower with every kind of misfortune. Yet still, the boat came closer and closer until it bumped gently against his own. Enraged that his warnings were ignored, he stood up to confront the careless person in the other boat. But when he looked, he saw that the boat was empty. It was just an empty boat, drifting aimlessly down the river. All his anger, all his fury, all his threats were directed at nothing. He had created the entire conflict within his own mind. The Zen master who told this story would then ask his students, "Are not all the boats that bump into us empty?" How often do we react with anger and anxiety to events and people, believing they are intentionally harming us? How often are we simply shouting at an empty boat? The source of our disturbance is not the external event. It is our reaction to it. The anxious thoughts that spiral in your mind are often tied to these empty boats, things you cannot control, things that are not personal attacks, but simply events drifting by. When you realize the boat is empty, the anger dissolves. The anxiety has nothing to hold on to. This is the wisdom of letting go. It is the understanding that peace comes not from changing the world outside, but from calming the sea within. As you continue to breathe in and out, let this story settle in your heart. Think of a recent worry, a frustration. See it for what it is. Is it a true threat, Or is it an empty boat, drifting in the fog of your mind? Now, let us deepen this practice. We have our anchor, the breath. We have our understanding, the empty boat. Now, we will cultivate the most powerful tool of all, the observer. Imagine you are sitting on the green, peaceful bank of a wide, flowing river. This river is your mind. The water is the stream of your thoughts, feelings, and sensations. Sometimes the river is calm and slow. Other times, it is a raging torrent, filled with debris. For your entire life, you have been swimming in this river, tossed and turned by its currents, believing that you are the river. You have been swept away by every wave of anxiety, every whirlpool of doubt. The great secret of Zen Buddhism is that you are not the river. You are the observer sitting on the bank. From this peaceful vantage point, you can watch the river of thought flow by. A thought of fear arises. You see it like a dark log floating past. You do not have to jump into the water to wrestle with it. You simply watch it come, and you watch it go. A happy memory appears, a beautiful leaf on the water. You can appreciate its beauty without clinging to it, without trying to stop its journey downstream. An anxious thought about the future, a jagged rock in the water. You notice its sharp edges. You feel the potential danger, but you remain safe on the bank. You are not the thought. Let's try this now. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Settle into your posture as the observer on the riverbank. What is flowing through your mind right now? Name it gently. Planning, worrying, remembering, judging. You don't need to do anything about these thoughts. Just label them and let them float by. This is how you begin to silence the mind. The silence is not an absence of thought. It is an absence of entanglement. The river still flows, but it no longer disturbs your peace. You are separate from it. You are the calm, witnessing presence. This practice, over time, creates space between you and your thoughts. In this space, peace is born. In this space, you can finally rest. If you have ever felt like a ship lost in the storm of your own thoughts, let us know in the comments what peace feels like to you. Your words may be a lighthouse for someone else. And if this journey resonates with you, your like is a quiet signal of shared understanding. Now let us explore a core Buddhist teaching that supports this practice, the wisdom of impermanence, or Anicca. Everything changes. Everything is in a constant state of flux. The river you are watching is never the same river twice. The clouds in the sky never hold their shape. This is the nature of reality. This truth also applies to your thoughts and feelings. The most intense wave of anxiety is, by its very nature, impermanent. It will rise, it will crest, and it will fall. The deepest sadness is impermanent. The most joyful excitement is impermanent. When we forget this, we suffer. We cling to pleasant feelings, desperate for them to stay, which creates anxiety. We resist unpleasant feelings, terrified they will last forever, which creates more fear. Understanding Anicca is a profound release. When an anxious thought appears, you can meet it with the calm wisdom. This too shall pass. You don't have to believe the thought. You don't have to identify with it. You can see it as what it is, a temporary weather pattern in the sky of your mind. It is not the sky itself. By not resisting it, by not feeding it with fear, you allow it to dissolve naturally, on its own. Think about it. No mood has ever lasted forever. No thought has ever stayed in your mind permanently. They are all visitors. When you treat them as temporary guests rather than permanent residents, you rob them of their power. This is not a passive resignation. It is an active, liberating alignment with the truth of existence. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about giving up the struggle against reality. Let us reflect on another story. There was an old farmer who had worked his fields for many years. One day, his only horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to console him. "Such bad luck," they said. The farmer replied, "Maybe." The next morning, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 other wild horses. "How wonderful!" the neighbors exclaimed. "Such good luck," the farmer replied, "Maybe." The following day, his son tried to tame one of the wild horses, was thrown, and broke his leg. The neighbors again came to offer their sympathy. "Such bad luck," they said. The farmer replied, "Maybe." The day after, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing that the farmer's son had a broken leg, they passed him by. The neighbors congratulated the farmer on his good fortune. "Such good luck," they said. The farmer replied, "Maybe." The mind that overthinks is constantly trying to label events as good or bad. It tries to predict the future, to control outcomes, to understand the ununderstandable chain of cause and effect. This is the source of endless anxiety. The farmer's wisdom lies in his acceptance of the present moment without judgment. He understood that he could not see the whole picture. To stop overthinking is to cultivate the maybe mind. It is to release the need to have everything figured out. When you face a situation, instead of immediately labeling it and letting your thoughts spiral, you can introduce a gentle maybe. You can allow life to unfold without demanding to know the final chapter. This creates a profound sense of trust and ease. It allows you to rest in the uncertainty of life, which is the only place true peace can be found. We are now bringing together all the threads of our journey tonight. The anchor of the breath, which brings us to the present. The lesson of the empty boat, which teaches us not to react to what we cannot control. The practice of the observer on the riverbank, which separates us from the stream of our thoughts. The wisdom of impermanence, which assures us that all things, including our anxieties, will pass. And the gentle acceptance of the farmer who finds peace in not knowing. These are not just concepts. They are tools. They are practices. They are pathways back to the silent sanctuary within you. The climax of this journey is not a loud explosion, but a quiet realization. It is the moment you understand that you do not need to silence your mind. You only need to stop listening to it as if it were an absolute authority. You only need to withdraw your belief from the anxious stories it tells. The silence you have been seeking is not an empty mind. It is a peaceful mind. The river of thought will continue to flow. That is its nature, but you are no longer drowning in it. You are resting on the bank, bathed in the warm light of your own awareness. You can hear the water, but it is just a sound in the background of a much greater silence. The silence of your own being. This is the resolution. This is the freedom you came here to find. You have not defeated your mind. You have befriended it. You have reclaimed your rightful place as the calm, compassionate witness to its endless dance. Breathe in this stillness. Feel the space it has created inside you. This peace is your true nature. It has been here all along, hidden beneath the noise. You now know the way back. As our time together comes to a close, carry this stillness with you. Let it be the ground upon which you walk and the quiet space to which you can always return. The river will continue its flow, but you now have the wisdom not to be swept away by it. If you wish to continue walking this path with us, consider subscribing and joining our tranquil space for reflection. May your mind be calm, your heart be open, and your night be filled with deep and restorative peace.